This is a kiki of a Dendrobium kingianum, and I'm going to now transfer this into soil. I've grown this plant for quite a while in water, and it's produced quite a big root system, and it's produced this a shoot whilst growing in water. And there's another eye on this side of the plant. Now, that being said, this shoot that is grown here doesn't look like it's mature. It doesn't look like it's going to get any bigger because it's produced this whilst growing in water, which is not the ideal situation for orchids, obviously, as we know. But nevertheless, I am impressed with this root growth. But now we do have some things that we have to think about. These roots were grown in water, and our orchid roots are very sensitive. So there is a chance that when I transfer this into a growing media that the roots can maybe not like it and fail. So that is a possibility. Hopefully that won't happen and it will take quite readily, but we'll see. I'm using a orchid mix with some perlite, milled bark, and a tiny amount of cactus mix actually, just to give a little bit of sustenance to the soil and to also help the plant anchor. And because I'm using the cacti mix in there, which I know some people will say is going to compact and be bad for the roots of this plant, I will say I'm going to plant this in a terracotta pot, which will help with the moisture, to wick away some of the moisture from the growing media. And this pot also has little slits, which helps with air movement. So hopefully that will help the plant to have the oxygen, but then on the other side, the mix will also help the plant to anchor in the growing media. So first thing I'm going to do is just fill up with my growing media. Now let's see where we are. This is, I want to say a bit too shallow, but actually I think this could be, let me just do one more scoop. Okay, now we can get these roots into the soil and yeah, I can see now the mix alone will not keep it upright. So I'm just gonna put this in there, and I need to get something to tie that with. Just quickly hold on a second. Okay, so I found a cable tie which I'll use to just get this stem to keep it nice and stable. I'm going to make this quite tight because the stem isn't going to grow anymore, and now it just needs to be stable so that that the roots can start to attach to the media. So I'm just going to cut this off there. And there we go. So I'm going to give this the slightest bit of water at the sink to just help the roots to settle, but they were quite wet, so I don't want to overdo it, so just give it a slight bit of water. Otherwise the dry media could possibly start to almost desiccate the roots, because it could take too much moisture, absorb too much of the moisture from the roots, and then it can let them dry out, and we don't want that. Yeah, so this was a quick and easy little tutorial. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. For me, it's a way to propagate orchids, because we don't often think of orchids being propagated in water. But you know, this just shows you that with certain type of orchids we can do this, you know. Yeah, so if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button and I will see you in the next video. Bye.